Today we're going to be going over a crank no start on this Chevy HHR and some of the directional testing you could use to determine what may be the problem. Some of the reasonings for the crank no start could be a few things. Either it's missing the fuel, missing the spark, missing compression, or it's missing air for the actual combustion. We're going to go over one of the tests now to show what they would do. First, what I'm going to do is a spark test to see if we're getting any spark down through the coil to the plug. So this time we're going to perform that test. Alright, we didn't get no spark at that coil, so now we'll test the rest of them to make sure that we don't have spark in any of them. Alright, we've tested the spark at all the injectors and we've determined that none of them have spark at this time. So now we're going to go back to our wiring diagram and find out what they have in common, see if we can find a starting point as to why we don't have spark. So we got our wiring diagram here and we're looking at what all the injectors would have in common. And the first thing we'll come to right here is we have a powertrain relay, and then we have a few fuses here, a fuse over here that they all have in common. So first thing we're going to look at this powertrain relay. So what we did is swapped some relays. We took this relay and this relay and swapped them, and then we're going to see if the vehicle will crank and see if it's a relay issue. Okay, we're swapping those relays, so here's the trunk. Alright, we swapped those once again, we swapped those relays. A good relay for that relay because we thought that relay may be bad, and the vehicle cranked once we swapped in a different relay. So now we'll pull that relay and we'll test it and see what the issue is with it. Okay, the next thing this circuit would have had in common for all the injector would have been this 10 amp fuse down here. Now we've already determined that it was actually here where we had the problem, so we really won't need to check this fuse. But if that wouldn't have worked, then we'd pull this fuse and check this fuse and make it work good, and that's how we could determine why we wasn't getting spark. The difference between directional and pinpoint testing is pretty simple. Directional testing will pretty much point you in the direction of where the problem is, whether it's spark or fuel or whatever. Pinpoint tests narrow it down to exactly what the problem is, and then you can correct it. The relay that was bad, we bench tested. We ohmed the switch side, or the coil side, and checked the resistance on the coil side. The coil side was good. Then once we hooked it up to do a bench test to do the volt drop, that's where we found the problem. So the problem on that actually lies in the switch side.